Talk about a lose-lose situation. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be my thoughts and impressions regarding the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS, episode 69, and I gotta be honest with you guys, this episode just reaffirms the point that I made almost at the very beginning of this series, that whenever Revolver gets involved in something, it's going to get crazy. It's going to be crazy overcomplicated, and it's going to be unpredictable. And sure enough, all three of these things held true in this week's episode, but we'll talk about that soon enough. So, at risk of further rambling, on to the actual episode. So the episode begins with a brief recap of where we left off last week, where Revolver comes in and confronts Windy and Lightning and says, "In the name of the Knights of Hanoi, I will kill you." And the first half of the episode, after this brief recap, is pretty much Playmaker and Revolver going back and forth, where Playmaker is saying, "Don't do this, Revolver, because your father has already said that humans were the problem, and that with humans being aggressive to AIs and viewing them as the enemy, AI will view the human as enemy and return the favor as far as aggression. So the more hostile you become, the more hostile the Ignis are going to become." But Revolver wants no part of this. He even goes on to assure Playmaker that he is in his convictions, he is going to kill the Ignis, and then also goes on to call out Playmaker's hypocrisy when he tries to say that you cannot move forward by dwelling on revenge and living in the past. And Revolver says, "Well, that's pretty rich coming from you." And of course, Playmaker also tries to pull out the card of how Revolver saved him, and Revolver said, "And I told you I very much regretted doing that." So during this whole back and forth, it's just Playmaker trying to convince Revolver don't go through with this, but to no avail. And then before Revolver begins his actual duel, he turns to I and says, "Don't think you're safe either, because you're an Ignis as well." Pretty much implying that if and when Revolver clobbers Windy and Lightning, he's going to go after I next. I'm pretty sure that's a safe bet. But anyway, so Revolver turns his attention to the AIs. And at first, Windy and Lightning are wondering how he got in here. And Revolver says, "As the leader of the Knights of Hanoi, we're always monitoring you, and I always have a plan. I will never go into an enemy's HQ without a plan." And of course, that plan is the three Knights and Spectre, who are currently outside dueling Windy's program Echo that's keeping watch, and they are going through and clobbering all these Echoes that Windy had put out there to try to stop them. Going back inside, we see the duel between Windy and Revolver start, but not before transitioning back to the real world, where Takeru and Kusanagi are looking at the screen, and they're like, "Playmaker's not coming back." And at first, Takeru and Kusanagi are worried. Flame, not so much, but eventually Kusanagi decides to send Takeru into the Vrains and go after and try to rescue Playmaker and make sure that nothing bad has happened, and gives him a video program and a Ignis disruptor. So Takeru goes into Vrains. He's now Soul Burner. He's off on the hunt for Playmaker. We then go back in here and watch the real duel between Windy and Revolver get underway. And Windy actually tells Revolver, "You make the first move because you've pummeled Playmaker. I want to see what you're really capable of." And so Revolver says, "As you wish, but this is going to be the one and only time," as he begins his move. And Revolver starts off by playing Revolve Boot Sector, and Link summons Link 2, Deliserious Dragon. And what this card does is actually pretty incredible, and we'll talk about that soon enough as well. And then Revolver sets two cards and ends his turn. So then we go on to Windy, who makes his first move, and we get introduced to what Windy's deck is. And of course, it being Windy, it is none other than a Storm Rider deck. And Windy, for his first move, brings out Storm Rider Rockbuster, which is a Link monster, and also plays a continuous magic card called Storm Rider Turbulence, which automatically raises its attack points. And then he uses Rockbuster's effect to destroy Revolver's face-down cards, and we learn that his face-down cards are none other than Reverse Engineering, and another card from the good old Yu-Gi-Oh days, Magic Cylinder. Now, I do want to take a moment to talk about Magic Cylinder, because if you guys remember, way back in the Duel Monster days when Magic Cylinder was introduced, you could only activate Magic Cylinder if you had a spellcaster type monster on your field. Well, now it appears in Vrains that rule's gone bye-bye. Apparently they're sticking more to the trading card aspect of the Magic Cylinder effect, to where you do not need a spellcaster on the field to make that work. So anyway, Wendy's destroyed these 2 cards, leaving Revolver exposed, or so you would think, and Revolver actually activates Reverse Engineering's effect from the graveyard, where by banishing it, he gets to replay Magic Cylinder from his graveyard and activate it this turn, which puts Wendy in a precarious situation, because if Wendy attacks, Revolver is going to counter with Magic Cylinder. If Wendy doesn't attack, he's going to face the effect of Dilingerious Dragon. And what its effect is if you do not battle it, or you do not battle this turn, it's going to destroy the monster and deal Wendy the damage. So either way, Wendy's going to take damage here, or so you would think. So anyway, Wendy actually manages to bypass this and deal damage to Revolver, because he manages to use his card's effects to destroy Magic Cylinder again and set it from Revolver's graveyard. So now Revolver's in the situation here. But so Revolver's cards are gone. You think Wendy's got him bested. Revolver, not wanting to shy away from his true self, manages to link summon Link 4 Borolo Dragon, and this is where the predicament kicks off once again, because now Revolver has a choice. He can either attack Wendy, who still has his Magic Cylinder card set, and take the damage from Borolo, which is 3,000 damage, or he cannot attack, but Revolver is going to attack, because Wendy actually activates a card effect which prevents Revolver from getting out of this. Revolver has no choice but to battle because of Storm Rider's effects. He has to go after Rockbuster. So although Borolo Dragon is OP as he is stronger, Revolver is going to be the one taking all the damage, and within 2 turns, Wendy has Revolver's life points knocked all the way down to 300, and that's when Wendy says, "You can talk all you want. The outcome I already know." And Revolver is basically saying, the outcome is not as you predicted. You cannot predict this outcome. I will show you the correct answer. I will show this defective AI the true answer. And that's pretty much where the episode left off. So, like I said, although I am super excited to see the results of this, I gotta say, I think Wendy's probably gonna best Revolver. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Sadly enough for Revolver. But I do want to say once again, when Revolver gets involved, things get crazy overcomplicated, and I just love that, because you can never predict the results, and it's so overcomplicated. I can't wait to see what Revolver's got up his sleeve next episode, but that'll be a discussion for another day. So, with that being said, that was pretty much the episode. Overall, I give this episode a 7 out of 10. Not a great episode, but it was still a really good episode. I really liked how Playmaker was trying to talk Revolver out of doing this, saying, "You're going to regret this." And Revolver says, "I already regret enough around you." But yeah, that whole discussion is another one for another day. But in the comments down below, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What were your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win the duel between Wendy and Revolver? What are your thoughts on Wendy's overpowered cards? Just let me know what your guys' thoughts are about all this in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. All right, everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.